Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hey, happy Halloween. Good morning. Welcome onto the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you, as always, by Happy State Bank. Alongside Geoff Haxton, I'm Chois Woodman. Lucas White, back behind the glass, taking care of us as usual. Hit us up. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, your hopes, dreams, all of it welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app. It is an overreaction Monday, so we'll take your overreactions from the weekend. Both directions, good, bad, ugly. Of course, we'll talk plenty of Texas Tech and Baylor, talk a little Cowboys. Big news for the Big 12 coming out with a TV contract that looks pretty good, unless you're asking someone out west, and they'll give you, numbers that don't tell the whole
14 reasons why it's not what it is.
Or the Pac-12 the Pac-12's gonna come back with an enormous deal from Amazon, something like that.
Amazon's gonna save us.
Yeah, so there's that. We're 1 week out from Texas Tech basketball season tipping off from today. 1 week from today. So plenty to dive into. Get your overreaction in, just regular reaction in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line from what you saw on Saturday night, from what you saw from the Cowboys Sunday. We'll take it all there. Hax, how we doing?
I like the jersey. Very nice.
Thank you. We went Mighty Duck for this week's Halloween. Got a Charlie
Got the Captain
Conway.
C.
That's right, Charlie Conway jersey. Old school Mighty Ducks. And that's one, you know what? I got some hot movie takes, but that one goes in order in terms of best movies in the trilogy. 1, 2, then 3.
Just glad you didn't wear it while you were trying to dig your camper out, because you would have probably ruined it.
This one's a white one, so it would have been a little bit rough. I didn't think it would be good to wear the green one after the weekend. Probably stay away from the green Mighty Ducks jersey. Went with the white one. Because the green team, that was rough. I think the Big 12 in general this weekend just was, one of those weekends where you look at scores or watch games and didn't quite go how people planned. You and I sat there on Saturday talking about
we talked a big game.
Tech Baylor game. And honestly, Hax, I don't really come off of much of what we said on Saturday. Up to that point in the season, Tech had played better than Baylor. Up to that point in the season, Blake Shapen hadn't been that impressive. He had come off 2 games where he had thrown 5 picks collectively in those 2 games. But those statements...
And in some of the games that we'd seen that were not the ones that you're talking about, they had been afraid to really use him, where they were going to... And now you can see why Reese has just gotten so much better.
Goodness gracious. What a freshman.
He was the X factor, and if there were holes, he was, running free.
Exploding.
And then, he reminded me a little bit of Bijan Robinson with
scary.
I've seen Bijan this year and really through his career where, man, where this play was designed is not where it is. That lane's closed, and then he's got that ability to shift. All the really good backs in this league, Deuce Vaughn, Bijan, and now Reese, have that ability to just create and kind of riff. And
but he didn't need. I know much because of the giant holes he's running through. Because of the. That's. I think, Hex, I don't think I'm overstating or overreacting too much when I say this was by far your most disappointing game that we've seen this season. Your other 3 losses for Texas Tech came against, in my opinion, better football teams. You lost to better football teams in Oklahoma State and Kansas State, and at the time, NC State was definitely better when Leary was playing. Now, if you played them now, it might be quite a bit more even, but at that time, they were a better football team, especially on the road. This one was disappointing because you never gave yourself really a chance in this game because you just got beat up punched in the mouth in the trenches and never really responded there. Therefore, Baylor just controlled the entire game from the start. You cut it to 7 at one point, but even at that point, it kind of felt like it's still distant and you're reaching for it.
So that's because they had so much control of everything.
Yeah, it was a frustrating Saturday.
They had their clamps and their hands around it and weren't going to let it go. And then you got a little desperate and started running quarterbacks out there. One of them that hasn't played all year, basically, that just didn't look ready, and just a rough Saturday. And you turn around and TCU's just a ball of flame. I mean, they're just on fire.
They are. I'm done.
Well, we got dude, I was listening to that as soon as our show ended. I knew that game was getting interesting, and so I popped on Tony Caridi from West Virginia, and about 30 seconds in, he's like, and there's a touchdown at the buzzer and the game is over. So it was a terrible beat.
Oh yeah.
Awful. For anybody that had West Virginia.
We should have. we picked West Virginia 7.5 with the show versus show.
Oh, terrible beat.
Should have got that one, but awful beat at the buzzer. TCU
Last play?
Scores. Yeah. TCU scores and has an awful backdoor cover. Anyway, but I'm done. I'm done doubting TCU.
Well, it only took you to week 10.
Week 10, convenient that Texas Tech is here, so I'm done.
That's okay, Choice. I swear to you, when I was rolling up to the station today, I was listening to Chuck, and he said, the Red Raiders and Lady Raiders open up their seasons on Monday. I swear to you, I thought it was a Tuesday, so I don't even know what day our season opener is. So yeah.
Oh, you thought the season
opener? I swear I thought it was on a Tuesday.
No, it's most years it is.
No, I'm looking at it right now, Monday.
Yeah, most years
it
is
is
on a
fine
Tuesday.
with me. I'm glad it's Monday instead of Tuesday.
It's one quicker. Yeah, and honestly, based off of who you got this weekend in Fort Worth, maybe it's a good thing you open on a Monday because you get to talk some basketball.
I think it's
but once we
of
start that Monday, we'll have 3 basketball games basically in a week: Monday, Thursday, Monday.
Pretty quick.
And then we go to Hawaii. Jeez.
What'd you say, Lucas?
I said they moved it up because of election night.
Oh, that actually makes sense.
Makes me feel better. Okay, good.
I think you're right. Yeah, most years you do open on a Tuesday. So I think that makes a lot of sense because it is November 2, election night. You don't want to battle anything there.
I've already voted. I think you've got till November 4th for early voting. And
is that right?
And then they shut it down. Yeah.
Wait, I thought election night's
No.
Oh, Tuesday. Yeah, okay. I thought it's November 2nd is election day. 8th. Okay. There we go. That's where I get confused. So there you go. November 8th. So you can go all the way through this week till Friday for your early voting if you haven't done so yet. Go do it.
It's easy.
Exercise
So
your
easy.
civic right. I did it. Took me it was a slow process and it took 10 minutes because I had some slow ones in front of me that were doing other things. But yeah, definitely go vote. Plenty of overreaction to get to. Yours, ours, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Someone already disagreeing with my Mighty Ducks opinion. Didn't take very long. We'll get to all of that. Talk some Cowboys. Big 12 TV contract. Big thing. Good thing for the league. We'll dive into that a little bit as well. Lots to get to over the next 3 hours. It's the end of the bench. Roll until noon on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Part of your Monday, you're listening to the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. He's Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. We'll start off I'm a bad news first guy, Hax. Start off with the bad news. Texas Tech soccer may have seen their season come to an end.
What a way to end your weekend. I'm watching that thing, and you're getting close, and you're like, okay, haven't had the ability to go overtime all year long. Going to be able to see it this time, and if you don't get to that, you're going to get to PKs. And then OU sends in a laser from the side, which was, I believe, Easton Morrell's sister on the pass.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it.
And then the finish chipped in with 9 seconds. Unbelievable. Just, it's a walk-off.
9 seconds.
Yeah.
Just, oh.
Yeah.
Talking about
And I don't think
beats.
our girls relaxed or anything. I just think it was
No.
a beautiful, perfect play by OU. And
It's rough.
now you're waiting and hoping.
And it was another one of those games, kind of like early in the season, where Tech had some chances, missed some opportunities at shots on goal, but just unable to finish. Tough one because you really needed to win that one and win maybe one more to feel pretty decent about your chances going into the NCAA tournament. Now it feels a little more distant. Was a pretty good one if you were a Dallas Cowboys fan yesterday. Cowboys taking out the Bears 49-29. Actually, as surprised at the 29 as I was the 49, that the Cowboys defense was kind of diced at times. That's what's been the staple for Dallas. But
How does Fields jump the guy and not put a hand on him? Was it Parsons that grabbed the ball?
yeah, Parsons never like if he touches him with his foot, like if he just touches him with his foot, he's down. That was pretty wild. Parsons gets his first career touchdown.
I mean, I know you're supposed to be as careful as you can be with your body as a quarterback, but that was the wrong instinct.
And then Parsons then gets up and just basically walks through a crowd to get through and then go to the end zone.
That's one of the reasons why you had crazy point totals. Is you had some weird plays like that.
Yeah, it was. And
I got
Pollard,
one thing right all weekend.
What's
I
that?
said Pollard was going to have a huge day.
And he did.
And he sure did. He went nuts.
Pollard ends up with a 3-touchdown day, Hacks, 127 yards, I believe. Maybe I'm shortening him a little.
Here it is. Look at him. Whoop. Little
It's
little
a
leapfrog.
Crazy play. So Pollard has the 3-touchdown day. You know who's never had a 3-touchdown day for the Cowboys?
Zeke.
Zeke has never had a 3 rushing touchdown day in his career.
Zeke.
Got a lot of money tied up in that guy, though.
Zeke being a cheerleader might be the best thing to go with.
Oh, my goodness.
Just let him keep cheering on Tony and let Tony run. I thought the Bears, uniforms were a stretch. I just
Not
they
a
look
fan
like,
of the,
no, they look like a
oranges.
Bengals to me.
Brad Sham
a
didn't
little
like
bit.
them either. He called them the ugly orange the whole game.
Did he?
The ugly orange uniforms. So Cowboys
Orange
won.
hats, orange tops.
Titans also beat the Texans 17-10. The Tannehill-less Titans beat the Texans.
How'd you like to score on a Hail Mary, rip off your helmet so everybody can see your face, get flagged, miss the extra point, go to overtime and lose?
That was
Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina. What an idiotic play.
Good grief. That's so stupid.
Because the extra point goes 15 yards back.
We had
right?
to hit it 48.
Yeah,
48 yarder with pressure on because there's
Idiotic.
not any time left. hardly.
Okay, I get it. Be excited about the Hail Mary, but keep your head. He literally
Immediately ripped that.
He
the
almost
helmet off.
wins the game. You could say
Should've.
he wins the game for them and then loses it for
Yeah.
them. All in the matter of 2 seconds.
And who's the guy that's playing quarterback for the Panthers right now? 'Cause Mayfield went up and hugged him.
PJ Walker.
Walker, yeah.
He threw the ball 60 yards in the air.
Yeah, just bombs it.
Unbelievable pass.
And it's not even like a traditional Hail Mary. He just
No, it
threw
ended
it
up
behind the defense.
looking like a fly route
Yeah.
because Moore, who ripped his helmet off, he's kind of jogging like I may be a decoy. Boom! He hits the afterburners. Guy hits him in stride, maybe even a little further because he dives. He makes an unbelievable play. And then after that, it was all downhill.
Other headlines for you. Astros and Phillies game 3 tonight from Philadelphia as the Astros tied it up 1-1 with a game 2 win on Saturday. That'll be a 6:30 coverage start time. You'll listen to it over on Double T 97.3 in the World Series. You can have the Cowboys hours. They'll recap what we saw yesterday against the Bears, a winning Monday. They're at 6 o'clock, then High School Fan Zone at 7. You can listen to it right here on 100.7 The Score. Then we'll pick up Bengals and Browns in progress at 8 o'clock this evening. All of that right here on 100.7 The Score. In the NBA, Mavs took out the Magic 114-105. How about this stat from your boy Luka? Said your boy, but a boy, Luka. Luka is the first player since Michael Jordan in 1986 Hacks to score 30-plus points in each of the first 6 games of the season. So, not too bad. I'm actually surprised that that's a stat, because you get guys that get off to hot starts and all that. First guy since 86 to score 30-plus points in the first 6 games of a season. You'd have thought LeBron had done it at some point, or MJ again since 86, or somebody. Or Kobe. Yeah, pretty wild there. Kobe.
Did you see some of the fantasy scores from this weekend? Did your leagues get crazy?
I saw some.
We have never had anybody in the history of this league score over 200 points. Been like 197, 195. We got 2 right now that still have players to go tonight that are sitting at 205 and 209.
Had some McCaffrey action, I'm sure.
If you go down, it's like quarterback 35, running back 38, 42 for McCaffrey.
There were a lot of points in the NFL this weekend. I mean, overall, it was a much higher scoring weekend than we've seen in a while. So, a couple more.
How'd Sudabob do?
I think he did pretty well because he had Tony Pollard, which hasn't worked out most of the season. I hadn't looked since last night, though, or yesterday afternoon. So, not so great. Not so great. But
this guy's got 206 with Joe Mixon to go.
206 with Mixon to go.
So Lamar Jackson 25, Henry 35, Kamara 42, Hopkins 33, Brown for the Eagles 39. Yeah. Jeez.
Pseudo Bob's going to beat Shelly this weekend. Take that, Shelly. Got 1 or 2 players to play. And
I think you might have just killed our banana nut bread for the future with that.
Sorry. My bad. 2 more quick headlines. Spurs top the Timberwolves 107-98. Rockets lost to the Suns 124-109. Spurs have actually gotten off to a 6-1 start this year. Surprised a lot of people, which is the second best start in franchise history. A little surprising there. All right, keep getting your thoughts in. Lots rolling in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line as anticipated. Someone says, I blame Chois for the Baylor loss. Haven't lost to them at home in 30-plus years, jinx. I wasn't the only one saying that. I'll just tell you that. But, yes, I did say that out loud. It was true. Hadn't lost to Baylor at home since 1990. Had to come to an end at some point.
This job can make you feel really dumb. I mean,
it's just dumb.
Boy, I was sitting there at the house just shaking my head like, dude, everything I said this week is false.
Yeah, it was one of those weekends. It was. As Hacks may find out coming up on our Weekend Pick'em Challenge results. Actually, no, it was close. It was close. We'll find out in about 5 minutes. Patrick says, come on, Choice. Mighty Ducks 2 is the GOAT. Have you seen all 3?
Yeah, I'm sure I have. It's just been forever. When were those movies out? The 90s?
Two is the one where they go to take on. I think I might actually agree with that. 2, they
Iceland?
are Team USA, and they go against Iceland, and that Iceland team was pretty salty. So, yeah, they were 90s movies, early 90s.
They made Iceland, little Iceland, look like the Soviets from the 80s.
I'm pretty sure Mike Madonna is in the first one. And he's playing for the Minnesota North Stars at the time.
That's right.
Yeah. Before they had moved to Dallas, the Minnesota North Stars. So there you go. Mike Madonna appearance. All right. Lots of your reaction. We've got our overreaction about 15 minutes away. Keep getting your thoughts in, your comments, your questions on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll get to some of that in a moment. You're hanging with the End of the Bench till noon today on 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks so much for making us part of your Monday, Halloween Monday. It's the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. He's Hacks, I'm Chois. Jackson across the way. on television as well. Fox 34 News Now. Lots of headlines to run through real quick, then back to your thoughts. Texas Tech soccer loses to OU on a absolute heartbreaker. 9 seconds left in the match in the Big 12 championships as the Red Raiders, the 3 seed, fall to the 6-seeded Sooners.
Just like a lightning bolt.
I mean, so frustrating. Fall 1-0. Would have gone to overtime. Didn't get a chance to go to overtime as that one, just a frustrating one and might be a costly one in terms of being able to make the postseason. If I were a betting man, I think they're not going to get in due to the RPI. Dallas Cowboys winners yesterday, 49-29 over the Bears. Titans beat the Texans 17-10 in that one. Chiefs, in case anybody was interested, they were off, and that's why Patrick Mahomes was in town over the weekend. Got a fresh game time announcement from the Big 12 Conference. Texas Tech and Kansas coming up, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 12th. That one you can find at 6 o'clock on Double T 97.3 and 100.7. The Score, 6 o'clock kickoff on ESPN+. Thrilling stuff there. I'm curious, Hax, with the new Big 12 announcement TV deal, what those third-tier rights turn into. Is it going to be purely ESPN+? Do we see them dabble in some streaming rights with Amazon or Apple or something like that?
Yeah.
Where that turns into third-tier rights? Or I'm curious about that because there's still money to be made there.
I would think if you're Fox and ESPN, you're putting up big bucks that you would not want.
Yeah, I think so.
Things straying away from you when you're
agreed.
You're fully committed and
I think that's what will happen
and invested like you are.
But Fox has got to up their streaming game if that's the case. Like ESPN Plus has become a thing.
Yeah.
There's no, there is a Fox mobile app and Fox stuff, but you need.
And
something
I really
like
ESPN Plus. I just don't like it for football games.
Agreed. I think it's easy to access for basketball, for baseball, but football.
Yeah, and for basketball, I only won it a few times. But a guy like me who's interested in the soccer and the volleyball and that sort of thing.
Sure, it's great.
I watched last night. It was easy. It was the second thing that was requested for me on the ESPN app, and I was watching it.
Yeah. So, anyway, 6 o'clock kickoff. Red Raiders and Kansas Jayhawks next Saturday, the 12th. Dallas Mavericks beat the Magic last night, 114-105. Luka Doncic becomes the first player since 1986, a guy named Michael Jordan, to score 30-plus points in the first 6 games of a season. That's a pretty wild stat. Are you happy with this, Jackson?
Yeah, if his teammates could start playing better.
Well, yeah, they're only 3-3 at this point, so
He's playing great. It's
He is
kind of
playing
nice
pretty good.
since the biggest concern for him usually has been how he starts the season.
yeah. Rockets lost to the Suns, 124-109. Spurs toppled the Timberwolves, 107-98. So the Spurs are off to a record-ish start, their second-best start in franchise history at 6-1. They've kind of been the surprise team of the NBA thus far. Don't forget, High School Fan Zone for you tonight on the airwaves following the Cowboys Hour, which we'll have at 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock, Fan Zone, featuring coaches from Estacado and Coronado. They'll join Tommy Wood here in the First United Bank studio. Follow it up with Bengals and Browns at 8 o'clock. We'll take that one in progress. And then, of course, World Series action, game number 3. Astros at the Phillies tonight, 6:30, about a 7:10 first pitch on Double T 97.3. You going to watch Astros?
No.
No World Series action?
Nope.
What's it going to take? Like a game 7 for you to tune in?
I'm going to watch some, but I got Halloween duties.
Okay. It wasn't just I forgot tonight's Halloween.
We got burgers that we're going to cook up.
Yeah,
that's on me.
It is.
Got Halloween candy to give out. Got to walk around the neighborhood at least once.
So what do you do when you take the kids out for Halloween? What do? You just leave the house unmanned?
No. We never leave it unmanned.
Okay.
I make a lap around. with probably Perry because he's attached to my hip. And then we kind of scouted it out. And then I'll come back and Jen will take the princesses and the girls and Perry again. And I'll get my lawn chair and set up outside the house with the candy to give away.
Did you lose the fight on the Cowboys cheerleader thing? Was that a thing?
Yeah, God. Oh, why'd you have to remind
Sorry.
me?
I'm just wondering. I didn't know if you lost that fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh dang it.
All right. Sorry. I don't want to get Hax in a bad mood. All right. Good mood time.
She went to a wedding on Saturday and just looked gorgeous.
A wedding. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Wedding, but fall weddings are bad though.
Yeah,
What do you
I
guys
didn't
do?
get into that. I was like, hey, I didn't make
Y'all
this.
got it.
I didn't make this plan because I'm not
Yeah.
ignorant, and I'm not going to it, so it's okay.
So there's popular costumes this year. The 5 top trending costumes from the past week are from movies and shows. Daredevil? That's odd. Princess Diaries. Oh, these are from the movies show. Monster High, The Purge, and Starfire from Teen Titans. Nope. All out on that. Top trending partner costumes this year. Tiffany and Chucky. Ross and Rachel. Wally and Eve. Okay. Joe and Love from the Netflix show You. And then Burt Macklin and Janet Snakehole
Okay, there. Now we're talking.
from Parks and Rec, which is my favorite costume I've ever done. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. I'll show you the. I think it popped up on the memories. But Burt Macklin and Janet Snakehole is my favorite one that me and the wife did together.
Get out that snake juice.
And then the most searched costumes are a witch, Spider-Man, dinosaur, anything from Stranger Things, fairy, pirate, rabbit, cheerleader, cowboy, and Harley Quinn are your most searched costumes this year. Google has this thing. We've done this before. It's called a costume wizard. So it's going to, you can't figure out what you're going to be. It's a little late now, but if you can't figure out what you're going to be, you go to this costume wizard. All right, we'll start with you, Hax. Classic or modern style?
Classic.
Classic. Trend meter, national or local?
Local.
All right, I need a percentage here. Percentage spookiness. 0 to 100.
100.
You're going all the way 100. Okay. And then uniqueness level, 0 to 100.
0.
You don't want to be unique. Okay. And Hax is supposed to be Chucky.
All right, I'll take Chucky.
Hax is supposed to be Chucky today. All right, Jackson, your turn. Classic or modern?
Modern.
National or local trend?
National.
Spookiness level, 0 to 100%.
10.
10%. Uniqueness level, 0 to 100%.
50.
Okay, right in the middle. It just says Toy Story. It doesn't even say who you're supposed
You're
to
Woody.
be. You're Woody. Hold on. Who would he be from Toy Story? The Rex inflatable T-Rex costume's pretty easy to do.
I'll take the Slink Dog.
Slinky? That's his name, right? Just Slinky?
Slinky Dog.
Slinky Dog. Okay. All right. I am not a spooky person, so I'm going like 10% on that. I'll go more modern. Definitely local trend. And you know me. I like to stand out. Uniqueness at 100. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog. How do you even do that in a costume? All right.
I get to wield around a knife.
I'll post the
fun.
link. Yeah, you get to be Chucky. That seems like it would actually fit you pretty well. Just the overalls, crazy Chucky face. I think you could pull that off pretty well. Carrying around a knife, scaring little children. That's just a normal Tuesday for Hax. It's the end of the bench. I'll post that costume wizard if y'all want to have some fun with it on the chat line. We got plenty more of your thoughts. Get your questions in for Ask the Benchwarmers, 20 minutes away. It's the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Glad to be part of your Monday. You're listening to the End of the Bench on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. He's Geoff Haxton. I'm Chois Woodman. Keep hitting us up. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, all welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Keep those questions coming. We've got some there on the chat line rolling in already regarding Texas Tech, Big 12, what we saw from the quarterbacks, all of that. Getting back to it, talked a lot about Red Raiders and Bears early, Hacks, but the quarterback situation has gotten a lot of play on the chat line. Someone says, surely the QB conversation is over, right? If we're going to struggle with any of them, we might as well go with the young guy with the most potential. We can still win with him this year as long as we don't roll out the entire quarterback room in one game.
I feel like it's a complete restart of the conversation. Like it's just launched again. Because I don't agree with that. If you just roll in there and say, okay, well, if we're going to struggle with them, we're going to struggle with the guy who's going to be here for a while. These guys don't operate that way. Yep. They operate on, at this very moment, this single second, how can we win this football game?
Yep.
How can we put ourselves in position to win? And so they've got to find the guy that is going to be best suited to do that. And you can tell they're looking for it now because with Barron, the way that he was, and this is not me saying I don't, put Barron on the back seat. This is not that. This is just, to me, a reopening of the conversation of that we can now have as this is a quarterback battle. To me, at the start of that game against Baylor, there wasn't a quarterback battle. It was Morton, and it was his team because of what he'd done the previous weeks and how he had looked. Hey, he didn't look the greatest. So can another guy do better? Let's find out. So,
yeah, I don't know. Snead definitely dressed up. He'll enjoy his costume.
Notice how I didn't lose my train of thought.
That was pretty good.
He tried so hard.
He's trying. Morton is still young and raw. Smith is inconsistent, and Shuck wasn't ready. O-line is an entirely different problem. Another one says, tough game for Morton, but I still think he's the guy.
That's the way I feel.
Small Town Raider says, I sure hate the quarterback stuff. Another one says, Bears probably have the best D-line in the Big 12. They played lights out against a weak offensive line. Move on. Onward and upward. That's from T-Money. I don't know if they have the best. There are a ton. This is the best I can ever remember the Big 12 when it comes to off defensive lines as a group, as a unit. I'm talking about unit, the league. Like, I don't think you've ever
Who's
had
better than
this.
Baylor?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'd rank them number one.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I've had them 1 and 2 with Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
but
OSU's the other one. And then
Oklahoma
K-State.
State's fallen apart in almost every facet.
K-State's the other one. They've got at least 2 really nice pieces there. But yeah, I think in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4 on the line, Baylor, yeah, I'd probably put Baylor up there as the best in the league. So you win against the best, against your worst unit on the team, your offensive line, and it exposed
all those quarterbacks are going to struggle when that happens. And you went over that. You highlighted you had guys running open, but you can't locate those guys running open.
Now, and I think the frustrating part, Hacks,
if you're running for your life.
I think the frustrating part is you watch how many times they jumped routes and picked you off. 5 interceptions in the game. 1 shouldn't have been an interception, but 5 interceptions, even 4 interceptions in the game. They're just reading your quarterback's eyes because they're baited him. They're making him throw on the run. They're making him roll out and throw. Baylor had a game plan, obviously, and they executed it to a T. It was get the quarterback, get him out of the pocket, and then undercut routes. And they were able to do that all night long against Texas Tech. And that was frustrating because you had no answer for it. There was no answer for Baylor's game plan. And I think when you have a team that's jumping routes the way they were, you should be able to go over the top on them.
You don't have enough time.
Exactly. You should be able to burn them deep if they're going to jump routes that way, but you never had a chance to set your feet and throw down the field. Never. So that's where it was like just maddening, pulling your hair out type of stuff. South Texas Ambassador Preston says, I just think Kitley is learning just as much as the young QBs are. Your 2 successful drives, you had 17 carries. With the offensive line the way it's that way, it's just tough. Yeah, I mean, your 2 successful drives, you're exactly right. You ran the football very well on those drives. You took pressure off of your quarterbacks. Took pressure off of Morton. So that's a big key to this team is being a balanced offense. And unfortunately, most of the night against Baylor, you were unable to be a balanced offense. I wish they would have run a little bit more, but especially when you get in holes like you were, the tendency is to go away from the run and to try to get bigger chunks through the passing game. Shuck's body language was bad, someone said.
Yeah, God, didn't look great.
You could tell he's warming up like the whole game. He's just itching for his time to go in. And then again, he went in, it didn't go well on the very first pass. Which, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I think the spring game, very first pass of the spring game was a pick 6 off of Shuck's arm as well. Panhandle Raider says game plan was bad for any of our quarterbacks. Yeah, I don't know that you change them out, anything's going to happen any different. I mean, Donovan might be able to break a couple tackles and run through a little bit, but you saw what happened at the end of the game with Shuck. He only could throw 2 passes because he was bull rushed and got sacked like 3 times in a row. I mean, he couldn't move around and get away enough. And I think in a game like that, that's why you probably stick with Morton before you ever even see Shuck in. You got to have a mobile quarterback if you're on the run that much. And Morton and Donovan provide that a little bit more than Shuck does. How about the cheap shot he took? A guy that's already hurt going down and sliding and then late pop, dirty hit. Someone says, I disagree with you, Hax. It's Barron or nothing. We got to see why it didn't work in back-to-back drives going from Donovan to Shuck. The only way forward is with the freshman. I don't think you can bury your head in the sand. I understand giving the kids some leash.
All I'm saying is the coaches aren't thinking that way. The coaches didn't roll into the offices this morning saying it's Barron Morton or nothing. They didn't.
I agree
because
with you. Yeah.
They're going to watch practice this week, and we all have heard how Barron practices, which is apparently not great. They're going to look at those numbers where it was 3 picks, and they're going to say, hey, against TCU this coming Saturday, who gives us the best chance to win? And if they think it's Shuck, they'll roll with that. I don't think it'll be Smith. And it's probably going to be Morton to our texter. So we're not too far off here. All I'm saying is they're not thinking that way.
Yeah.
Because they still want to get to bowl eligibility. They still want to finish as high as they can in this league. They still want to beat one of their rivals that's having an undefeated season that just got a 4-star defensive back today that everybody wanted. They see what TCU's building, and they got to get in there and fight. And so whoever gives them that best chance is who they're going to put out there.
Central Texas Hank says the Baylor D-line treated our O-line like a bunch of high schoolers. It was men versus boys.
They're really good. That's the thing that worried me the most about Baylor.
I think just not as frustrating because it wasn't as bad, but a lot of frustrating was that their offensive line treated your defensive line similarly. I mean, they kicked your butt there. That was your defensive line's worst game of the season. That little half pitch to the side for Reese worked every single time, where he's going for 7 to 15 yards a pop.
Plays.
Yeah, people saying same pass, same results. Shuck feels like Shuck's throwing a pick six in every game. Our O-line is bad, just is. So, Ian, you're coming off, Hax, as bad as this game was. You could say this about the O-line, and you could say about the entire game. As bad as this game was, in just about every facet, that's how good you played against West Virginia. It's so weird that these are back-to-back weeks because you played lights out against the Mountaineers. You beat West Virginia every position group, every battle, and you lost every battle. You got beat horribly by Baylor.
And then West Virginia was one possession game down to the last snap.
Yeah.
With TCU.
And West Virginia beat this Baylor team.
Yes.
Just kicked the snot out of you. The Big 12 is as unpredictable as it comes. It really is. Get your questions in. Lots in already. Keep them coming. Ask the Benchwarmers. Coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
The Score if you got any questions there, or you can do so. Call us on the Benchmark hotline, 806-771-0973. I just blanked.
Distracted.
Haxton is in costume. Officially, if you want to watch on Fox 34 News now, you can do so. He's got the skeletal head, the dome.
It's hard to talk.
I can tell. It's a little. We can hear you
It's
still.
a little restrictive.
We can still hear you. Can you still hear me?
Oh, I can hear you just
okay.
fine, yeah.
First question. How about this outfit? Someone shows us their kid.
White Goodman.
As White Goodman nailed it. That is awesome. Awesome.
Got to be the haircut.
Oh, that's actually Justin. That's Justin's kid. So
feathered and lethal.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that outfit. Actually, I may steal that and do that next year. Not kidding. I'm a big dodgeball fan. Keep those questions coming. Can someone grab a picture of Hax in costume? We'll do so. Yes, we'll do it and post it somewhere. Even gave the guns up. Who knew the Grim Reaper is on our side? This question. Ask the warmers of the bench. Thoughts on Tom Stone and Tech Soccer as he hit the ceiling with this program? Wow. I don't know. Honestly. You about to light a fuse over there? Getting the effect going with the light.
I don't know. I don't know if he has because the Big 12 championship was in 2015.
Uh-huh. It's been a while.
Now it's a transition period because you had Kirsten Davis doing everything for 5 years.
Before that, you had Janine Becky.
Right.
So you need another one of those. That's the deal. His Coach Stone's got to get another just amazing goal scorer.
Well, and the injury thing has been nuts because Blackburn goes out game 3.
Mm-hmm.
She's the quarterback of the team.
Yeah.
She makes everything go. So you don't have her for the entire year. And they won. Listen, they won 5 straight. It's not like they were bad.
Yeah.
They won 5 straight in Big 12 play.
Yep.
And gave up a goal with 9 seconds where they could have made a run and done some damage in the tournament. So I don't think there's anything to be worried about when it comes to soccer.
I think I wouldn't be worrying about it either. You as we see so much Hax teams, and this we're talking about soccer here compared to football or basketball, teams getting rid of coaches or quarterbacks or whatever it is, and then realizing you had a good thing going or you don't know what you got till it's gone type of thing. I definitely wouldn't do that with Tom Stone. I don't know what. I mean, the question, we morphed that question, but no, he's a good coach. Ceiling of being a Big 12 champion, yeah, I think he's probably hit that, but it doesn't mean he can't get back to it.
Listen,
either.
You're playing in the Big 12. The highest ranked team that you have in this league is TCU at 17.
And that makes things really hard with the RPI.
Texas is 19. You got 16 teams better than your best team.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's an ACC, SEC, Pac-12 dominated sport.
This question, first off, that game hurt my soul to watch. Second, what do y'all think about the new Big 12 media rights deal that's being reported? Great thing for the league. Obviously, you can always wish for more. Would love to see the Big 12 getting Big 10 or SEC money, but that's not reality, not right now. So, in terms of best case scenario of what it could be, actually, I think, speaking of ceilings, I think you hit that ceiling, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like Brett Yormark squeezed every drop out of that lemon.
Where it gets even better is if you can kill the Pac-12.
Yeah, agreed.
Speaking of Halloween, if you can put a Pac-12 headstone or
yes, please.
A check mark on your belt that says "I killed the Pac-12."
I killed the Pac-12.
That would be even better.
Then Brett Yormark can get one of those teardrop tattoos. That would be great, right? I killed the Pac-12. Thoughts on not putting Morton back in after Donovan converted the 4th and 2? That's from Cameron.
Should have done it.
Do you think we'll see a change from that, or do you think we see the tempo take over more?
I think they're sticking with their tempo.
No, I think it's
hindsight's 2020, but man, let him be situational. Okay, let him be that situational guy. We've seen that he can throw the football now. It's not last year where it's like, okay, here's your situation, Donovan. You're going to go in and run the quarterback keeper.
Yeah. Yep. Bench sitters. The Big 12 seems up across the board in football this year. Do you expect a drop-off when the last of the super seniors are gone?
No.
No, I don't either. I mean, the league still recruits pretty well as a whole. Pretty well. I think you see some of the meatier positions.
I can't see you now.
Fall off. I think you see some of the meatier positions, your trenches positions, fall off a little bit because right now you have some of the best defensive lines in the league. There's some pretty darn good offensive lines in this league as well as a whole, and I think a lot of that, when you look at the best ones in this league, a lot of it has to do with age. Those bigger guys. I think that's where you may see a step back, but the league as a whole, no. I don't think it has to do as much with super seniors, personally. But, here's one. Hax is the man in black, always, except for Saturday. Wearing red was a bad juju, Jeffrey.
I won't make that mistake again.
Okay. I don't know if we'll do a blackout for the other game, the, what do you call it? The Kansas game? I don't even know what to call it. I can't tell if Hax has the mask on or if he's sucking on a chili dog. That's from Bullfighter. Thank you, Jackson. Great as always. Why does it sound like Hax is the Peanuts teacher right now?
Quarterback pressure.
Very nice. Well done. What grade would you give the offensive line? How many picks do you attribute to them? I got to think back through all the picks. Thanks for making me relive that. One shouldn't have been a pick. Bad call. So I don't give that one to an offensive line. The Shuck one wasn't rushed. That was just immediate throw to the sideline. Telegraphed it. There's -2. Can you even remember all the picks? I'm trying to think through. The Donovan one, he wasn't rushed. He just made a bad decision throwing over the middle.
I got the quarterbacks. I mean, the offensive line can take a lot of blame, but it's mostly quarterbacks.
QB's had a bad game. I mean, there's no question. Offensive line had the worst game, but quarterbacks, yeah, when it comes to the picks, I think maybe 1 or 2 of those you can throw on the offensive line. Now, the incompletions, the setting you up with more 3rd and longs, that sort of thing, that falls more on the offensive line because there were a lot of times that that Barron's having to just throw the ball away. Someone said, why does McGuire keep trying to put in multiple quarterbacks in a game that's still close? Why not just pick Morton and keep him in the whole game? That's from Nathan. Is that your preference? You'd like to see one quarterback just roll? Because it was that way for most of the game. I mean, for the most of the first half, at least, you really see the other quarterbacks. It's not like you just saw them switching series or anything.
Whoever is going to get the job done is who I want taking snaps.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Skeletor.
Skeletor?
Skeletor.
Skeletor. Happy Halloween, y'all. Hopefully,
Be safe out there.
Absolutely. Be safe. Watch out for your children tonight. Watch out for other people's kids, too. For Hax and Jackson, I'm Choice. It's been the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score. We got the bottom line headed your way next. Watch out for Sneed.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.